Hi there, teachers. In this video, I'll be showing you how to download a PDF from a website called ReadWorks and then upload it into Seesaw to create an activity. If you've never used ReadWorks before, I'd highly recommend it. One thing that it's great for is finding the same article written at two different reading levels. So I know for a fact there's one about Abraham Lincoln that is a great example of this. You can also filter by grade level, so if I only want the third grade activities about Abraham Lincoln, I can go ahead and do that. I'll click on this. It gives me a preview of it. If I want, I could have students read it right on the ReadWorks website, but I like doing it this way a little bit better. I click print. This time I don't want any of the comprehension questions, and I'm planning to assign it to some of my higher readers. So I'll pick Step 2 readers, and I will hit print. When I click print, it's going to generate a PDF of that document. You can scroll through and take a peek at it. And what you need to do from here is click download in your top right corner. It's going to have a long, nasty name. If you want, you can rename it. You don't really need to. Just make sure you know where you're saving it to. I'm going to make sure it's in my downloads folder and click save. After I've done that, I'll pop back over to Seesaw. I'll click Add at the top of my page and go to Assign an Activity. From here, I'm going to create a new activity, and I'll call it exactly what the article is called, Abraham Lincoln. My steps are going to be, number 1, click Add Response. That's pretty much my first step on all of my activities. Step 2 is going to be read the article about Abraham Lincoln. And my third step is going to be answer the questions and do the activities on pages 4 through whatever. Oh, there's some typos in there. That's fine. This is where I would add voice instructions if I wanted to. Very helpful for all students, especially struggling readers or English language learners. Adding multiple or multimedia instructions or example, again, this is up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. Sometimes it just makes an activity look a little bit cleaner. We'll jump right to the template though. I'm going to click Add Template, and since I want to upload a PDF, I'll click Upload, and I'll show you here what it looks like to select from your computer. You'll go here to your downloads, and then you'll pick the file that you chose, or you'll pick the file that you downloaded. Right now, I'm not going to do this because it's a little bit easier for me to just drag and drop it. It's still saved in my taskbar down at the bottom. Now you might be saying, if you're anything like me, that is awful small for students to read. And you are absolutely right. There are two options here. The first would be to unlock it and then resize it a little bit so that the text is a little bit bigger, but then it cuts off Mr. Lincoln's face. Not great. So I'm going to back out of all of that work. I'm going to relock this item, and instead I'm going to teach my students how to zoom in on text or on the page. This way, they can scroll up and down, they can move around. This works by moving the window with your mouse, or right now I'm doing it with my arrow keys. That would probably be the easiest way to have this be accessible to students. Next thing you can do is insert some questions. Maybe you want to do it right on the page that the reading is on, but maybe you'd rather just add some pages at the end. So I'll go ahead and click Add a Page. And I want this to be lined, so I'm going to change the background to have some lines on it. I'll insert a text box, and I'll lob them a softball easy. What is one thing you learned about Abraham Lincoln? A little confidence builder to start them off. I'm going to go ahead and resize this. And just so it looks a little bit neater, I'm going to change the style so that it's over here, and I'm going to take out the border. There we go. What is one thing you learned about Abraham Lincoln? If I want, I could have students respond with a text box, or I could ask them to respond with the microphone. This way, students know that they are supposed to respond with a voice or audio comment. If I'm feeling really frisky, I could even add in an arrow that points to the microphone. Something like this that points right over to it. And then they'll do a screen recording. It'll record their voice and tell me exactly what they're thinking. For my next one, I'll add another question, another page, so on and so forth, until I feel like I have enough questions for the activity. When I hit the check mark, it will save everything that I did. Then I can go ahead and save the activity if everything looks the way that I want it to. From here, I would have the option to either just save it into my library, which has already been automatically done, or I could go ahead and assign it right away. I'm going to assign it to just my homeroom. And for students, I'm going to go ahead and assign it to all of them. We'll be doing this as a whole class activity. Folders, this is a bit of a reading activity, also covers some things in social studies, and there's going to be some writing work on there. I'm going to end it with an essay question, so writing. I'll check mark it. I can add it to some skills. I know one of the skills in 3rd grade is oppression for social studies, talking about slavery and things like that. Since Abraham Lincoln has a big role in that, I'll go ahead and pick that one. I'll probably also do fluency because reading obviously has a lot to do with fluency. I'll call it good for skills right now. And I'm going to schedule this one for, let's see, August 20th. And I don't want it to go out at 6:26 p.m. That's kind of a weird time. So I know that we have our social studies at 10:15. So I'll set this to go out at 10:10 a.m. It'll go in their inbox right before they go to class. And I'll go ahead and assign it. Then when I view my activity, it shows up right in my activities feed. Notice that since I scheduled it, it is in my scheduled slot. If I just click assign to class, there's nothing there. Have to do scheduled. This has been how to upload an activity from ReadWorks to Seesaw. I hope you enjoy using this in your classroom.